The battle for the best budget mid-range smartphone is fiercer than ever, and today, two contenders are stepping into the ring, the Tecno Camon 40 and the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G. These two devices come packed with impressive specs for their price, but naturally, one of them is bound to give you more value for your money. So, which one is the better pick? Is it the stylish spec-packed Camon 40, or does the A16's brand reputation and software support give it an edge? Well, that's exactly what we're breaking down in this comparison. And so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Tecno usually goes all out with the retail packaging, while Samsung keeps things minimal. Inside the Camon 40's box, you get the phone itself, a 45-watt charger, a USB-C cable, a SIM ejector tool, and a clear protective case, a complete package. For the Galaxy A16 5G, Samsung gives you just the phone, a USB-C cable, and a SIM ejector tool, but no charging brick. Yeah, Samsung assumes you either have one already or need to buy one separately. When it comes to design, Samsung sticks to a more traditional, no-frills look, while Tecno takes a bolder, more futuristic approach. Both smartphones are made out of plastic, but the Camon 40 has a matte finish at the rear, and this traps fewer fingerprints compared to the glossy finish, which is a fingerprint magnet on the A15 5G. The Camon 40 is also slimmer at 7.3mm compared to 7.9mm on the A16, giving it a more premium feel. It also comes in eye-catching colors like the emerald glow green, which stands out more than Samsung's black, grey, gold and green options. Another win for the Camon here is its higher IP66 rating compared to Samsung's IP54, meaning better dust and water resistance. Plus it has the AI one-tap button, which lets you customize quick actions. Out of the box, a long press launches the AI assistant, which is DeepSeek R1 on the Camon here, while a double press launches the camera app. This gives the Camon 40 a slight edge in the design and build category. While I wish both smartphones had stereo speakers, that's not the case here. That's only true for the Tecno Camon 40. Tecno's sound is louder and more bass heavy, while Samsung sticks to a single downfiring speaker. If audio quality matters to you, then the Camon 40 easily takes this round. Both devices sport AMOLED panels, but the Camon 40 has a 6.78-inch display with a 120Hz refresh rate, while the A16 has a 6.7-inch screen with just 90Hz refresh rate. I initially expected Samsung to dominate this area, but in real-world use, the Camon 40's display is brighter, smoother, and slightly larger, making it the better choice for multimedia and gaming. Colors are actually good on these devices, and I wouldn't see any reason to complain about these displays for the price you pay. The Samsung's display on here lacks official glass protection details, while the Camon 40 uses a Corning Gorilla Glass for protection and durability. Generally, I lean a little more in favor of the Camon here. Under the hood, the Camon 40 runs on the 6nm MediaTek Helio G100 chipset, which is the same processor found in the 4G variant of the Samsung Galaxy A16. But since this is the 5G version, Samsung swaps it for the Exynos 1330 chipset. The biggest difference here is that the A16 supports 5G, while the Camon 40 here doesn't support 5G. So if 5G is a priority for you, the A16 wins. For general use though, the performance is quite similar. However, I noticed that the Camon 40 runs cooler during gaming, while Samsung's software optimization gives it an efficiency edge. Samsung also promises 6 years of major Android updates, while Tecno here will give you about 2 years of major OS updates. So if software longevity matters to you, Samsung is the better pick. By the way, these devices out of the box run on Android 15 for the Tecno with iOS and Android 14 currently for the Samsung with the One UI 6.1 skin. Now here's where things get really interesting. On paper, Samsung has a 50MP main sensor with OIS, while Tecno also has a 50MP main sensor, also with OIS. Both devices have ultra-wide lenses, but an 8MP ultra-wide from the Tecno and a 5MP sensor from the A16. Samsung also has a 2MP macro lens, which isn't available on the Camon, but I'll cover the main sensors here because those other ones are not that great. When you start taking photos with these devices, the Camon 40 surprises you. Its front-facing camera, which is a 32MP sensor against the 30MP on the A16 5G, produces richer tones with less smoothing, and it also handles white balance and exposure more consistently than the A16. Selfie videos follow the same trend, and the Camon 40 can record up to 2K in resolution, while you have Full HD with the Samsung A16. And also, Tecno's colors are noticeably richer, while Samsung's look slightly washed out. Moving over to the rear cameras, you might expect the A16's 50MP sensor to dominate, but in practice, the Camon 40 holds its own. In daylight, Samsung's shots sometimes appear washed out, while Tecno manages to retain more texture and better white balance, Zooming in these photos taken by these devices, the Camon actually captures more detail than you'd expect. Low light performance is another area where the Camon 40 excels. Night shots from the Camon look cleaner, with better skies and even sharper detail, while the A16 struggles a bit more with noise. For the videos, both devices capture good footage, but Tecno once again has this upper hand in resolution, recording in 2K while Samsung has Full HD. The colors also follow the same pattern, although they are close. I'd go with the Camon as far as the details. Both devices offer great battery capacities. The Tecno here has a 5200 mAh battery and Samsung has 5000 mAh. Now I have noticed that the Camon 40 is a little bit more power efficient for some reason, and it has a longer screen on time from my test. You also get a 45 watt charging support on the Camon 40 and only 25 watts maximum for the A16, which takes a lot more time to charge this device, about 2 hours from 0 to 100. You can charge the Tecno from 0 to 100 in about 50 minutes. Now as far as prices, you can get the A16 for 270,000 Naira or $160 for 4GB of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, while the Camon 40 goes for 275,000 Naira or $165 for 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. That's actually better value for money since you'll be doubling your RAM size. By the way, I have the 8 gigs 256 gigs of storage here, and this goes for 35,000 Naira more or about $20 more than the base unit. At this point, it actually feels like I'm trying to sell you the Camon 40, which isn't the case here. It's simply the better device at a lot of things and offers better value for your money. But if longer software support and 5G matter more to you, then by all means go get the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G. So which one of these devices gets your hard-earned money? Let me know in the comment section below, and you can check out my individual reviews on these devices here. Catch you in those videos. Cuídate.